Oh, oh Lord.
Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie. Hot mess Emmie. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, I'm going to be doing a reading right now for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Also for your cross watchers, also for people who are just here. Um, you don't really know why, but you find yourself super resonating. It's your message too. Your message too. Um, what? All right, guys, let's not be weird in the comments. I just about had it with weird. Okay, so here's the thing. A lot of things are coming back to you. This is not just for Pisceans. Uh, we're in Mercury retrograde shadow. A lot of things are coming back. Usually, when Mercury does its retrograde thing, uh, exes come back, former friends come back, just a lot of things coming back to you. But just because it comes back, I mean, should it be allowed back in? We're going to determine that here. I don't know if this is going to be like a completely different type of reading than what I usually do, but I just kind of feel like there's a whole lot of mention of stallions. Oh, shit. Okay. Let's just keep pulling cards. Oh, Lord. Okay. We can deal with this. We can deal with this. All right. Get some of this, some of that. Okay. How are you guys doing? I don't know where my other deck went. It's fine. It's 2, 3. Excuse me. Almost ready. Okay. 2, 3. This and then this. Okay. 2 decks left to pull from. And then we're ready. 3. And then, oh, what's that? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Put it right there. It's right there. What is this? Let's just start with the horse references, okay? So here we are, really just trying to get through life, really just, taking all of these delicate steps, try not to trip ourselves up. Bravery, oceans. You have oceans within your heart space. These oceans have a depth that are scary for most, okay? Pisceans, especially. If you're Piscean, if you're not Piscean and you're highly empathic, the depth of your ocean tends to be extremely deep. With that type of depth, most people will have a very hard time understanding you. Um, they'll have a very hard time supporting you. Often you'll feel as though you're everyone else's support, yet you get no kind of support from anyone. It feels unfair. That's a very common type of feeling. It's because your ocean is so deep that they can't get to the depth that you're at. Okay. It's a very difficult thing for the average person to love you at the depth that you exist within. For Pisceans, um, there's a lot of talk about how, oh, Scorpios are like they target Pisces. I don't think that's the case at all. I'm going to be honest. I don't think that's the case. I don't think all Scorpios are toxic like that where they're targeting people. I don't feel that's accurate at all. I feel like Scorpio gets such a bad rap just because quite a few have a tendency to play up some role. of like mysterious. And yeah, no, they tend to be a very good match because they both don't have to come up for air. But if they're not balanced, that's going to create quite a bit of toxicity. And that holds true for any pairing where they're not balanced. That's any pairing. It doesn't even matter your sign. It doesn't matter your depth of empathy. If you are in a pairing where one is toxic or both are toxic, that's even worse if both are toxic. But that's the thing. We expect people, very, very silently expect people to love us at the depth we exist within. Yet we don't even want to recognize how deep we actually are. We ourselves are still trying to play up some role of like, um, I don't know. I don't know. Pisces and empaths, honestly, are very good at playing whatever role you want us to play. And it's not because we're fake. It's because we try to accommodate you. We're really, really trying very, very hard to accommodate you. And here's the thing. When you allow your insecurities to dictate your behaviors, and those behaviors are unbalanced insecurities being expressed as a need for others there, that's codependency, first off. And then, secondly, that's what opens you up to being a target yet again. Yet again. So, with all of this, like people coming back, situations coming back, are you going to let that back in? Are you? Very, very recently, I had someone who they tagged me in something. I had unfriended them like I think like a year ago or something like that. I don't have any personal problem with the individual. Um, they actually have been always been very, very nice to me, supportive. But I just couldn't look at any more toxic posts. I couldn't witness any more of this need to argue with people all the time, whether it was directed at me or not. It became irrelevant because it was something I began to identify as toxicity, right? So I just quietly disappeared. Um, I think when they realized they were upset, and then they lashed out a little bit, which I didn't respond, which is fine. You're upset. I understand that, but I have to take care of my needs. And if my needs require me to protect myself from your wrath because you're upset, that's okay. I can stay quiet. I don't need you to understand me. I need to discern for myself. This explanation, is it going to create more understanding or is it a mirroring of that toxicity? Because if it's a mirroring, I don't need to explain myself. I need to just be quiet and mind my own business. So this person tagged me in something last night. And again, I have no, like, they've never been hurtful or harmful to me personally. I just can't be around toxicity anymore. And they tagged me and I hearted it kind of just like my way of, hey, I'm not mad at you. I've never been mad at you. And then they friend requested me, which I was like, I haven't seen any of their posts. Maybe they're not in that toxic phase anymore. Maybe they were just going through something. That's a Pisces in me coming out, you know? Oh, it was just a phase. Oh, they were going through something. No, this is who they are. This is who they are. Amazingly sweet to me and then toxic to everything else. Okay? This is who they are. Doesn't make them a bad person, it just makes them toxic. So, yeah, as soon as I approved the friend request, then several messages came in, which thank God I don't have Messenger installed on my phone. It just dings and so and so sent you a message, doesn't tell you what the message is. I went to bed. I was like, huh, I'm going to bed. I don't know what the message is, but I don't need to deal with that shit tonight. I don't need to see that shit tonight. I don't know what it is. If it's a sweet message, which they always would be sweet with me, I'll wake up to sweetness. And I did not wake up to sweetness. Again, it was not an attack on me. It was an invitation to join yet another cycle of toxicity. So I woke up this morning with the realization I will continue to count you as a friend in my heart. Social media, you're out. And I'm going to have to explain to you at this point. I feel like you're a beautiful person. I have so much love for you. I wish the best for you so hard. Like, so hard. Unfortunately, You continue to show me you choose not to tap into a peaceful potentiality that I've recognized in you from day one. And I cannot continue to allow myself to be exposed to this because the dynamic that we have established is that the type of friendship I have, you come to me, you suck me in, and I will go to war for you, regardless of whether you started the war, you're enabling the war, or any of that. If I don't have it within myself to change this aspect of myself, I need you to be removed permanently. Permanently. And this is something you have to begin recognizing for yourself. People will continue to come back into your life over the next few weeks. Should they be allowed back into your life? And this is not a question of are they a good person or are they a bad person? It's a question of, regardless of whether they are good or bad, regardless of whether they are friend or foe, do they create toxicity within your life? Are they perpetually in cycles of toxicity within their own lives? And because of your sense of loyalty to the people you love, which Pisceans, be honest with yourself about the shit your loyalty gets you into. Will this friendship pull you back into cycles of toxicity? Because if it does, you need to quit. You really, really need. Oh, but I need to save them from what? Themselves? This is their norm. And we have to remove this whole like, oh, but they're a good person. Oh, no, they're bad. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Do they bring toxicity to your door just by their existence? Do they take you back to a place where you cannot help but be toxic right along with them? Because if that's the case, you can't help but be toxic right along with them. Then you need to hold yourself accountable and not be around the very things that enable your toxicity. If you have struggles with drug addiction, um, let's use meth for example. If you are a former meth addict, um, you've stopped using, you're in a good place, you're in a healthy place, and a friend comes back into your life, they've always been good to you. Problem is, they use meth still. Do they need to be a part of your life? Can you continue to just wish well for them silently from afar? Or do you really need to experience this where you're going to be there with them in that stress and your coping mechanism for stress is meth? I mean, what's the most loving thing you can do for yourself? Because I mean, you've already established as an empath, you're highly capable of loving someone else even at your detriment. What's the most loving thing you can do for yourself? Because that's really the challenge for Pisceans and empaths. Your ability to love yourself unconditionally, to prioritize your needs, just like you prioritize the needs of everyone else but yourself. If you're not capable of that, then you are absolutely not capable of saving anyone. You are simply joining them in their cycles of toxicity and reinitiating your own. And this is a truth you need to begin really, really, looking at within yourself. This is no longer about are you a good person or a bad person? Are you a good friend or a bad friend? Because it's not about that. It's about self love. It's about self preservation. It's about emotional growth, spiritual expansion, elevation of consciousness. Outward displays of growth do not indicate growth. There's this saying, for even Satan himself can quote the words of God. Oftentimes, these things that sound good are really not good. Because a lot of what is mainstream spirituality, unfortunately, they are only portions of extremely ancient texts, esoterica, that were taken by those who are not part of that. And they were utilized to promote businesses, to grow followings. They are bastardized teachings. And I mean, if you're going to experience your life, experience your life. Don't dilute your experience through shame, guilt, and fear initiated by the spiritual movement that's going on. I promise you, the very people who make you feel bad about yourself, but they sound really good and really spiritual, they have no fucking clue what they're talking about. Well, Emmy, you think you know what you're talking about? I think I know myself. And really, what these readings are my interpretation of the messages filtered through my life experience. Well, mm, Emmy, what have you experienced? You're like so sheltered. I've experienced way more than you could ever possibly imagine. I don't need to wear that on my sleeve. I don't need to convince you. Those with the ears to hear will hear the messages that their soul is delivering. And no, I'm not a prophet. I'm a real live human being having a human experience, being filtered through a very ancient soul. Does that make me better? The fact that I recognize that I'm a human being having a human experience, simply interpreting these cards and messages through my life experiences should tell you. Even if I know better than you, it's not my place to tell you. It's my place to encourage and inspire and allow you to choose for yourself what you do with the messages that come through. Because I can say one thing and it can mean 10 different things to 10 different people. And all of that is okay. All of that is okay because this is a journey of rediscovery of self. Even if I were to watch my live streams after they're done, the messages as they come through while I'm live are received completely different. In the rare instances where I've had to go back and watch small portions of my live stream, because I don't like to rewatch live streams. That's fucking weird. I'm like, holy shit. Oh my God. And then I'm trying to think back. That's not what it meant when I said it. Wow. I should take my own advice. Let that sink in. Really let that sink in. Stop tiptoeing through your life. You're over here in an emotional winter. There's something very pure looking for you. And in that longing for connection, you have to be very wary and weary. Weary is tired. Wary is like cautious. There's a lot of mimics running around. Okay. There's a lot of mimics running around and they're like floating on clouds trying to simulate some sense of divinity, divine purpose, divine message. I'm sorry, but if you have to speak differently than your natural, normal vernacular, syntax and grammar, you have to change it to sound spiritual. That's fakery. Fakery, fuckery, same damn thing. Same damn thing. If I talk to you hella ratchet, if my normal type of talking is ratchet, like, what's up? And then I come live, I'm like, hello, my brothers and sisters. This morning, we will channel in messages from divinity. The Galactic Federation of Light has asked Sananda to come and speak to me. Like, that's just bullshit. That's just fucking bullshit. And if you do that and it pisses you off that I've said that, hey, I'm not sorry for speaking my truth. I'm not. I feel like it's bullshit. If you can't just say it, if you have to like channel where you're letting in another being, we a different breed, baby. This is not the right place for you. We a different fucking breed. I'm gonna just say how it is. And that's just how it is for me. That's fucking bullshit. Quit playing. Quit playing. I'm just saying, I can't be anything but me. And what I am is a revolutionary. Okay. I'm not here to play by the rules. The rules are trying to find their way back to you. You've probably experienced some period of freedom, spiritual expression, just being able to allow this truth of you to be expressed externally in a more authentic manner. Like this 2020 was a beautiful year. If we allow ourselves to really look at what 2020 did for us, fuck, spiritual revolution. You know why? We were kept so separate physically from each other, mentally and emotionally as well. After a certain period, we became withdrawn. This separation, although the intent was not to usher in spiritual growth and a spiritual revolution, what it did was take away everyone's eyes so you could quietly begin to stew in your own juices, watch all kind of shit on YouTube and social media, and begin to think for yourself. Ain't that some shit? There was no way that your social obligations to see people every day and this and that was removed. It was to break you, but what it ended up doing was breaking the bonds that force you to continue to comply with shit that just doesn't resonate with your soul. This is what 2020 was about. Oh, but Emmy, 2020 destroyed all these businesses. They took all these jobs. How many of you were working jobs that did not honor your soul or your purpose, was so misaligned, and you were so miserable and you lost that job? And now you're free to either start your business that is in alignment, or find a company that you feel really good about. Like, shit, this makes me feel like I have purpose. And here's one of the major fucking lies that spirituality tells us, okay? Your sole purpose has to involve saving the world and saving other human beings. I'm sorry, we already had a Messiah a couple years back. We murdered him. Humanity hasn't changed. We murdered him. This person that was in a like Messiah role, we demanded his execution. It was not Pontius Pilate. He didn't want to fucking shit with that. He didn't. He didn't want to deal with that. So he took the peers, the rest of the regular people, had them decide. And we chose execution. Torture first, and then execution. You want to be a Messiah? I know I don't. I know I don't. Fuck that shit. I'm not volunteering for that. I'll speak my truth. You take it too far, I'm gonna fight back. I don't fucking think so. I don't think so. The part of me that existed at that time, I fucking learned. Nope, no. She wasn't ready. Yeah, no, I'm not agreeing to that. This is about a revolution within your own consciousness. What are you agreeing to? Are you allowing yourself to repeat the lessons that have been on repeat for so many generations? People will say, like, you have to be more Jesus like. The one story that stands out the most in my head was not some image of Jesus being slapped and him offering the other cheek. The most prominent, most powerful story that stands out in my head, being someone who was born, raised, indoctrinated, baptized, and confirmed in Catholicism, motherfucker flipped tables. He was like, fuck you, bitches. Fuck this shit. You disrespected my father's house. Now you gonna really catch my wrath. I was like, fuck yeah. Flip more tables. Flip more tables. Yeah, no, I got in trouble for that shit. I got in trouble in school because I was like clapping. I remember that shit. I was clapping. Yeah, he flipped tables. And everyone in class just looked at me and I was like, y'all aren't excited? I'll be quiet. That's how class went. And I was like, why the fuck is she all excited? Jesus went savage. No, Jesus went truthful. Jesus went balls out, schlong dangling, and was like, this is my truth. You will not shrink me or shut me up. That's fucking amazing. That's amazing. So, connection. In your depth, you can find connection with other people who are already in their depths. The problem is you're trying to pull people who are surface level individuals down as deep as you are. You're going to drown them. You're going to drown them. This concept of people need to love me the way I love. No one asked you to love that way. No one asked you to love so completely, wholeheartedly, and then turn around and expect other people to love that way. Everyone has a different type of heart. They express their love in different types of ways. It's like the equivalent to the girlfriend who, um, and I can say this because I lived through it. I used to get irritated because my husband does not express love the way I do. Like, I don't like flowers and stuff like that. Like, why? If you like the flower, you just fucking killed it. When you cut it, you killed it. I feel like it's a waste of money. I don't like jewelry. I don't like any of that. And my husband and I are polar opposites. He likes to try and buy things for me and spoil me in that way in the beginning. He still tries to do that, but the thing is, I recognize I was so irritated because I was expecting him to express love in the way that I do, where I anticipate all sorts of things about you. Um, I'm yeah, it's just such a different type of love. The depth of that love is the same. It's reciprocated, but the way that love is expressed is very, very different. And it's this concept of, he really helped me to learn this. We are arguing years ago, like a long, long time ago. And I was just like tearing him down because I get vicious. And he was just like, well, you just want someone just like you. You don't even like yourself. Motherfucker, what'd you say to me? How dare you speak truth? Thank you, Tanaya. Oh my gosh. Yeah. How dare you speak fucking truth to me in the middle of my unjustified rage? He did. He did. That's one of the most powerful moments of our relation. He did. You don't even like yourself. You want me to be like you, you don't even like yourself. That's fucked up. Well, I wasn't just looking to argue. I was looking to force him to see how right and accurate I actually am. And in reality, I wasn't. I wasn't right. I wasn't accurate. I just didn't have enough life experience, emotional growth to understand at the depth that I thought I understood. And that's the thing. As much as you think you know, do you really know? As much as you think you've experienced, have you really experienced? As much, have you really? Have you really? Probably not. Probably not. Because if you take a look at your own life, who you are today is very different than who you were last year. The events that have happened in that year have helped to really, really form you, refine you, all of these things. Are you the same person? Do you have the same connections with the same people? Or have you realized many of your connections were outgrown years ago, but your loyalty to that connection is what kept you connected despite the misalignment? Despite the lack of understanding, the lack of acceptance, despite. Yeah, it's hard to let go. It's very hard to let go. It's very hard to recognize that you have been part in enabling things that have just unnecessarily hurt you for so long. Going back to the very beginning of this life, the person that I touched into, um, I don't think they're a bad person. I was talking to my husband about it. And he's like, wasn't he good to you? Didn't he help you? Yeah, he did. He did. I could never actually attack him and be like, oh, you're this, and this. I'm just like, bro, you're at a place that it's toxic for me. And I have to love myself the way I'm capable of loving you, where I can nurture myself. I can hold my own hand and say, it's okay. It's okay for you to recognize this is too hard for you to do. And you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay for me to recognize I'm both the inner child and the spiritual adult. I'm both. There will be parts of my life where that inner child will be prominent and I'm working on the wounds that were sustained and continue to fester within that child. And it's also okay for me to kind of shift just a little bit and recognize I lived through enough in this life, just this life alone. I've lived through enough in this life that I've learned how to heal those specific wounds. And so I can be that spiritual adult. And after a certain point, once the inner child and the spiritual adult merge together, come together as a totality, I will then step into this role as a spiritual elder for myself. That's a powerful thing. That's a powerful process. But you have to give yourself permission to be fully present. Because if not, I mean, could you imagine applying for your PhD and not being fully present? This is not going to happen. I mean, you need to be fully present for your master's. Your bachelor's degree, um, for the most part, you need to be fully present, but a lot of it also is like, just turning in the homework on time and taking the tests. You can still do that with lower level functioning. Master's degree challenges you more. PhD, I mean, that dissertation alone, you're not going to Google that information, copy and paste. I promise you that. You have to be fully present and apply everything that you've learned in all those other stages of development, educational development. Um, and unless you know how to apply what you've learned, you're not getting to that level. So, how does this tie into spirituality? Unless you can apply all of these things that you've read out of books and watched in live streams and, you know, received messages from meditation, unless you can apply that to your everyday life, to your connections with people and possibly freeing yourself to recognize what should be allowed and what shouldn't be allowed to continue to exist within your life, um, you're not getting that PhD. A lot of people say that, oh, you're like a teacher for me. If I really am your teacher, I would fail you. This is not about fakery or fuckery. This is not about regurgitation. You're not going to regurgitate the words that I say, claim them as your own, and pretend you've reached some level of ascended masterness. You have to have your own thoughts. You're allowed and are welcome to hear the words that I say, the stories that I share, the space that I share, and allow that to kind of commingle with some of the thoughts you've been having so that you can form your own thoughts, your organic stance, not no regurgitation like, well, Emmy says she don't listen to her higher self, so neither do I. Bitch, please. Stop. Stop the bullshit. You're not a baby Emmy. Recognize, respect, and honor your own sovereign power. Never, ever, ever diminish yourself so much that you are just a replica of someone else. Never, ever, 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 ever do that. Don't ever do that. You are so much more than a regurgitator. There is nothing about me that is so special that you can't reach the same level of understanding of self and soul on your own terms, on your own path. Maybe I'm just a mirror. Maybe I'm just reflecting back to you the very things that scare you about yourself, your greatness, your understanding, your journey, your purpose. Don't don't be a regurgitator. I personally cannot stand that shit. It's one thing to like communicate with me some of the things that really like sparked learning for you. That's beautiful. It's a communication, dialogue, die to, not mono. I don't need you to regurgitate back the shit that I say because I mean, it came from me, right? Do I need to hear it again? Am I in a state of denial, self denial, that you need to repeat to me what I've shared about my journey? This is about really, really, instead of allowing things to come back to you, how about you fill your space with your recognition of your own greatness? How about you allow the greatness that you're rediscovering within yourself to occupy so much of your auric field that you don't have any space for toxic shit to occupy? What's coming back to you? Because something's coming back no matter what. Something is coming back. Whenever it's a Mercury retrograde, there are things that are coming back. A recognition of your truth, a realization of your power, uh, toxic motherfuckers, exes, return of behaviors that you thought you outgrew. I mean, what are you choosing to allow to come back? What are you choosing to allow to come back? And it's a choice you're making, whether you're consciously choosing or passively allowing. It's a choice you're making. Okay. It's a choice that you are making. Alchemy. You have the power within your hand to change your life, your perception, um, just the way you experience everything. If you are just so focused on all the negatives, then that's all you're going to find. That's all you're going to experience. And this is not an encouragement for you to pretend like everything's okay and be fake to yourself, high vibes, positive vibes only. That's bullshit too. This is about recognizing, like, all right, some fucked up shit going on. I don't like it. It's fucked up. It's a fucked up circumstance. I don't like it. But there's something in this. I'm going to learn something in this. The numbers were amazing. I'm going to learn something in this. And I don't know what it is. Let me just go with it. Let me just go ahead and learn whatever it is my soul to learn. I'm going to hold this space of trust within myself that although I don't like what's happening right now, this is taking me to a place that is filled with much more compassion and support for my growth than what I currently have in front of me right now. What are you talking about, Emmie? Like, I don't get what you're saying. Okay, well, let's use my life as an example yet again. Just last week, the hotel very abruptly told us that we had to leave. Me and my brother had to leave. I had nowhere to go. We had no option of extending the hotel stay. That's fucked up. That's seriously fucked up. He was in a really bad medical condition at that point. Like, really, really bad. Fucked up. Really fucked up shit. I should have been fucking furious. I should have been furious. I should have fought with a hotel. I should have this. I should have that. I should have fucking called lawyers. I should have. No, I didn't want him to be there. It wasn't healthy for him. It's a fucked up thing, but I'm trusting, I'm so trusting that this is both of our souls pushing us into a place that's uncomfortable, but that ultimately will lead to a much more peaceful existence. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Yes, it was very difficult. Yes, it was very exhausting moving everything. So, loading up, unloading, loading up, unloading. So, that's like 4 moves by myself. Enough stuff to fill a small U-Haul. I don't know if y'all know, I'm not a very big person. My muscles totally atrophied. Yeah, weak back, fucked up hips, fucked up knees. I'm doing this shit. I'm doing this shit. I'm not letting anything, including myself, tell me I'm too weak to accomplish this because I deserve so much more than being stuck in a situation that makes me feel unworthy. So I'm going to push through. I'm going to get this fucking done because I'm making a promise, not just to my brother, but to myself. We deserve more than this shit. I'm going to fucking make it happen. And it happened. And it's good. It's good. It was hard for a few days, but guess what? I'm worth that. I'm worth that process and that pain that it takes for me to reach a higher level of understanding. Fuck yeah, I manifested that shit. Fuck yeah, in my manifestation attempt, I had to look at Airbnb. Surprise! That's manifestation. It's not just placed in your lap by some angelic hand that you can't see. It's the quieting of your fear and your doubt to allow your soul to be able to whisper to you suggestions. Hey, girl, you might want to look at the Airbnb app. No, but I looked before and there was nothing. Yeah, bitch, that was Christmas time. Look again, or you're going to regret it. And I looked again and immediately I found a place. And then guess what? I tried to book the place and Airbnb itself rejected the booking, stating that they flagged my booking thinking it was going to be a party. What? A fucking party? Are you kidding me? We're just trying to live. So I tried again and it rejected it again. And then I felt, fuck, that's just, life is fucked. This is some fucked up shit. Really fucked up shit consistently happens to me. And I'm sick and tired of fucking being positive all the fucking time. Because life just fucking sucks. Yeah, I sat there for a good 10, 15 minutes with that mindset. And then I said to myself, are you fucking done with your tantrum? I just need 5 more minutes. And then I gave myself 5 more minutes. And then I pushed for what I knew I needed. I messaged the owner. Hey, I would like to rent it for this amount of time. This is the situation. Airbnb keeps flagging for a party. I promise you, this is not no fucking party. Owner, oh yeah, here, let me see if I can help. 5 minutes. Reservation went through. It's about recognizing sometimes you're in a process, and that process will create further struggle to give you an opportunity to have a situation where you can choose to fight for yourself. And it's not fight someone else, it's fight past your own doubts of what you feel you deserve. Are you going to allow back that toxic mindset of everything always fucking fails? Or are you going to experience that and be like, not this time? I'm going to ask them first. And if they say no, I'll find something else. Something will work. And that's what I kept telling myself. Something will work. This will work out. Before I have to leave California, this will work out. Something will work. If that's not the right place, and it's not the right place, and something else will come forward. But at no point am I going to give up. At no point am I going to fight my own process. At this point, I'm going to choose to quiet myself down, allow my soul to kind of whisper to me, like, should I message them? I don't like to message people. That's so out of character for me. I don't like to message people. I don't like to go out of my way to ask you. If it doesn't happen, easily, then I guess it just wasn't for me. Well, maybe what if that's part of your lack of trust in yourself and your soul type of mindset, where you are unconsciously looking for ways to validate this fear that soul does not support you, creation does not support you, you are not worthy, you will never have. Is it you will never have, or have you always refused to receive? There's a very thin, very, very fine silken line between the two. Which side are you on? Are you going to allow this more empowered mindset and knowing to come forward, to permeate your field of awareness, so that although you don't know how this will play out and you don't know the details and you don't really get a say in determining the details before you actually live it, you just know I am an alchemist. Alchemy is changing one substance into another, transmuting it, changing it into what you want it to be. Are you an alchemist, or are you a victim of your own mindset? Because if you're going to continue to have the mindset that you have, where everything's going to fail, this and that, and then that's what you're going to have. Not because I believe that's what you need or deserve, but because that's what you believe. Just like I believed that Airbnb was right. I didn't deserve that. I shouldn't have that. I'm not good enough for that. And then the spiritual sovereign in me was like, bitch, have a seat. Let's show you how this really works. Oh boy, did I see. Oh boy, did I see. It works so beautifully when I get out of my own way. When I stop believing in the bullshit lies that life and previous people in my life taught me about myself. And maybe these things are taught to you so you could have the juxtaposition, the lie and the truth. Where do you sit? As a human being, we're centered in the middle. And um, until we allow ourselves to recognize exactly what's going on, we're going to forever be focused on the side where the negative is stored. That doesn't mean you're negative. It means that's where you're facing. You're still in the middle. You're centered in your truth. Just because you're centered in your truth doesn't mean you will allow yourself to recognize that. So long as you continue to turn your head and focus on the distorted truths that people tell you, full on lies. These are lies. Okay, these are lies. Um, you're gonna constantly believe that. I've been lied to for much of my life, where I was called a bitch. I was told that I was a bitch. Anytime I speak up about anything, anything outside of doing exactly what you say when you tell me to do it, you're a bitch. Actually, I'm not. I'm actually a really nice person, but I can be a bitch if you force me to. And I'm recognizing this concept of bitch. Um, it's a recognition of weak people. It's their way of recognizing the fact that they can't dominate me. They can't force me. They can't subjugate me. So call me a bitch. That just tells me you see my crown. That just tells me you recognize my assertiveness comes from actual power. They're not just words. I can actually back that shit up. And if that's the word you choose to identify it, well then yeah, I'm the baddest fucking bitch you'll ever come across. Is it because I can dominate you? No, it's because I will never allow you to dominate me. I'm a bad bitch. That's fucking ridiculous. I'm so not a bad bitch. That's so ridiculous. So, card number 9, responding, not reacting. Are you responding or are you reacting? The only control we have is in how we respond to the hand we are dealt. Okay. Really let that sink in. If you're allowing someone to dictate to you how you're going to feel, like, oh, I'm triggered. This person pissed me off. I'm fucking pissed off. My whole day is ruined. That's weakness. That's weakness recognized. Am I saying you are a weak person? No. I'm saying even strong people have weaknesses. If you're nothing but reaction, you are giving your power away. All these toxic ass motherfuckers coming back. Are you going to just keep reacting? Or are you going to pause? Like, what is this? Are you toxic to me? Are you a toxic person? Do you need to take your toxicity somewhere else? I don't want that around me. Yeah, no. I'm not going to react. I'm going to respond. Either I'm going to say hello, yeah, I gotta go, and never come back, or I tell you completely outright, you need to leave, or I will just be quiet. Because sometimes the most powerful reaction, the most powerful response is utter silence. Silence so profound that it's deafening. Really let that sink in. Have you ever allowed yourself to go still, so deep within your stillness that you lose all ability to hear? It's just in your ear. If you've never experienced that, hopefully someday you will, where the silence your soul requests of you is so profound, for lack of a better word, that you have to stop everything that you're doing, even for just a few seconds, and just be open. Just hear. Because your heart will start racing. You'll start wondering, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is, oh my God, am I going deaf? Oh my God, what is this feeling? What is this sound? And then after you get all of that out of your system, you kind of just sit there like this. Whoa. It's even better when your eyes roll back. Oh my God, what the fuck was that? I'll figure it out later. All right. Wisdom in play. Our intuition knows more than we do. Maybe that's like the mute button being pressed for all the recordings that you store within your head. All these things that people have said about you, said to you, said behind your back, and it got back to you. Maybe it's the pressing of that mute button. And that's what you're experiencing, that stillness where your intuition exists and can speak to you clearly. Card number 44, Lantern. Consciousness is light. Oh, Lord, that's definitely a message. Consciousness is light. And there's this message that Michael gives me where it's like, just because you close your eyes in a fully lit room does not negate the fact that you are bathed in the light of your truth. Just because you choose to exist with your eyes closed. Well, Emmie, I don't choose to exist with my eyes closed. Well, have you opened them to your truth? The truth that you are greatness made into flesh and are on a journey of remembering that greatness. Because if you haven't gotten to that point, then yes, you're choosing to exist with your eyes closed. And I mean, I didn't tell you to exist like that, so you can't get mad at me, you know? Like, just recognize where you are on your journey and open your eyes. Not open your eyes and namaste your way through life. Open your eyes and be fully present as your soul brings to your very feet the very experiences, connections, and feelings that will really get you to a higher place of inner, under, and overstanding of yourself and soul, a deepening depth of your acceptance of yourself. I mean, I feel like that's the goal of life, to learn yourself in ways that no one else can. How do I do that? Live, not work, not memorize, not regurgitate. I'm talking about live, like being so present in your life that that's how you learn. That's hard to do. It's very, very hard to do. You know why? Because that creates emotions to come up, emotions that you wanted to bury away. You cannot expect to bury an emotion that is not yet dead. So long as that emotion will serve a purpose in your life, it will continue to live on within you. No matter how deep you bury it, it will always try and dig itself out. You ever have this experience where there's something going on and you suddenly feel like this hollow emptiness in the pit of your belly and feeling it filling with anxiety? Like, what the fuck is this? Why do I feel this way? Yeah, that emotion just dug its way out of its grave. You're being triggered in that moment to experience something. Something is coming back to you. It could be a return of circumstance. It could be a return of an individual. It could be a return of anything. Something's coming back. Something is coming back. So I hate how I get tricked into this shit. Okay. So the cards were arranged in a certain way. Michael tells me to blah, 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 blah. And card number 21, mirrored soul. Someone or something that mirrors your soul in all its insecurities and fractured state is coming back. Could just be energy, could just be the memory, could be the individual itself, himself, themself, not himself, them, THEMSELF, themselves. Coming back, it's a reconnection of consciousness. This reconnection will help you better understand where you've begun to exist within yourself. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through my phone because I want to forget about how pissed off I am. True story. I'm not joking. I'm trying to mitigate my reaction. All right. All right. You need to have compassion for yourself and the process that you go through to expand your consciousness. Oftentimes, the process that you go through to expand that consciousness involves a tremendous amount of pain, a tremendous amount of triggering, a tremendous amount of reactivity to your own life circumstance. This could be your current circumstance, it could be your earlier life circumstance, it can be your previous life circumstance. You need to have compassion for yourself as that energy rises up from your heart chakra to your throat. It might be uncomfortable. Speak your truth anyways. Speak your truth anyways. Well, I mean, that's easy for you to say because you're so like confident and secure in your own journey. How do you think how how do you think I got here? How do you think I got to this place within myself? I don't know, you're just strong. Yeah? Am I strong or am I defiant? Have I been created by my life in such a way where when I hurt, when I'm scared, I become defiant to that pain? And it's in that defiance I continue to move forward. Because from the time I started live streaming all the way up until now, I've been through quite some shit. I have had group after group after group after group trying to tear me down, trying to destroy my business, trying to villainize me, demonize me, all kind of bullshit. Fuck you bitches, you're the very fucking reason I'm still live streaming. If for nothing more than to show you your weak ass shit can never override the will of my soul. And had you just left me the fuck alone, I would have been fully content in slowly backing away and disappearing. So, did that come from a place of fear? Did that come from a place of compassion for myself? Where it's like I see outside of me all this internal monologue where I consistently attack myself day in, day out, no matter how far I bend over backwards for complete strangers, no matter how much I give of myself, my finances, my energy, it's never enough. It's never enough. Not never enough for other people, but never enough for me. And to help me recognize the asinine stupidity of my lack of compassion for myself. My soul then has all of these motherfuckers come and attack me, say the same shit that I am telling myself. Ooh, I needed to see it outside of me to understand the gravity of the toxicity within me. I mean, because really, the way my mind functions, the way my heart functions, if I witness a lie play out in front of me, I become reactive to that. I become defiant to it. I don't give a shit what I'm going to lose. I don't give a shit what I'm going to go through. You're already trying to shit on me. Let me just do this on my own fucking terms. I will fight you to the bitter fucking end. And I will be fully present as I do it because fuck you. I've had my life shit on me so much. I'm not going to let you do it too. Fuck you. That period of my life is over. Fuck you. Fuck that mindset. I'm not doing that shit to myself anymore. You're not going to do that to me. And then guess what? I finally get to a point where I'm right here, not afraid to hide who I am, not afraid to share my truth, not afraid, not afraid, not afraid. All of this programming I received from childhood to that point where I broke myself, realigned, straightened out. Everything I've experienced that intended to break me from the beginning of my life all the way up to that point now serves as fuel for my defiance. You will never fucking break me. Not without my permission, not even with it. Mm, mm, mm. And I used to think my defiance was some of my ugliest parts, my ability to be able to fucking go to with you. Like war, full on war. I will fucking tear you the fuck down. I used to think that was so ugly. And then I recognized, why am I so ashamed of my power? Why am I so ashamed of my intelligence to the point where I adjust my vernacular just so people don't look at me weird? Why am I so ashamed of that? Just like I told one of my sons years ago, because he had the most beautiful long hair. It was like down to his butt. It was so thick. The texture was amazing. And he hated his hair. And I said to him, do you realize how much women would pay for this type of hair? Do you realize how many packets of extensions this is? I mean, this is easily almost $1,000. He was like, what are you talking about? Do you realize what people would pay to reach the level of growth you have reached right now, this level that you don't appreciate, this level where you still think so little of yourself? Do you understand how much people would give to reach that level? And I got to a point where I understood and I still had no appreciation for it, but I did have enough space to allow myself to freely shift, knowing I'm not supposed to remain stuck in one position, stuck in one type of mindset, knowing I am a dynamic energy, simple in my complexity. I am a quantum anomaly in a linear world. I will never fit in. I will never react in the way you expect me to react. I'm just powerful in my own existence in that way. And whether I appreciate it or not, whether I utilize it or not, it is what it is. It is what it is. And when you allow yourself to see yourself in that way, where it is what it is, I'm still growing. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I'm sorry about that. That was not intentional, but this is a part of my growth process. I'm sorry that you're hurt, that I won't let you back in, but you know, I can't be sorry for having needs. I can't be sorry for existing. And part of existing is having needs. Because really, when you're sorry for fulfilling your needs, you're telling the person and creation, you're sorry you exist. Empaths, and especially Pisceans, are you not done being sorry? Are you not done apologizing for breathing the same air as the very people who begged at some point for you to exist within the same space they would either exist in or already existed in? I 100% fully believe, down to my core, that every single one of us is a prayer made into flesh, that at some point, at least one soul made it clear to creation it needed your presence for an entire lifetime, for just a moment. It needed you. You were a component of their growth. It needed you. So please bring you into fruition. Do you know how powerful that is? Why do you have to keep apologizing for that gravity of power? I mean, you're apologizing for shit you don't even understand yet. That's like expecting a newborn to apologize for walking. I mean, the poor little baby can't even hold his head up yet. You want him to apologize for walking already? That's exactly where you're at. Are you saying I'm like a child? I'm saying you're like a newborn. You can't even hold your own head up yet. You don't have the strength to have your focus directed where you want yet. Do you have to be sorry for that? Do you feel as though that's some sort of derogatory, degrading statement? Like um, I don't know if you know this, but at some point in my life, I couldn't hold my neck up either. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Why would you be ashamed? Why would you be ashamed? Should I'm not ashamed. There's things that I still can do. I know I have the ability to do it, but can I do it consciously? No, not yet. Should I be ashamed of that? There are things I still need to accomplish. I haven't accomplished it yet. Should I be ashamed of that too? Um, the culmination of my journey, for as long as I can remember, ends with me on a stage in a darkened stadium where people from around the world have flown in just to hear me speak. I'm not. I'm in a fucking. I'm in a storage closet with a wrinkled bed sheet behind me. Uh, yeah. Should I be ashamed of that? No. No. And yeah, quite a few of my live streams have been in closets. Let that fucking sink in. It doesn't matter where you are in life. What matters is where you are in your mind and your heart. Because unless those are aligned and you recognize your worth extends far beyond this concept of success in life, you're not going to amount to anything. not within yourself. And it will be reflected, projected outside of you. And that's what your environment will continue to perpetuate. This belief that you won't amount to anything. My value does not diminish whether I live stream in a fucking closet, in an RV, in a parking lot, or standing on a stage in a stadium with thousands upon thousands of people waiting for me to speak. My worth is not diminished. Not at all. The gravity of my purpose is not shrunk down. Not at all. What shrinks it down is my refusal to accept the greatness that I am, the greatness that I've always been, the greatness that I've made of, the greatness that is returning back to me through my life experiences. That's what diminishes me. A refusal to accept that, a refusal to receive. What have you not allowed yourself to receive? Communication. Communication from your soul tribe. There's communication coming in. There's instructions on how to proceed from this point on. You have to open your arms to that communication. Turning your back and, crossing your arms and having this little bit of a tantrum because you don't understand your path is not going to help you understand your path. Sometimes you need that moment. Take that moment. Notice how I use the word moment. It's not a phase. It's not a stage. It's not your life. It is a moment. The problem is that we take one moment and we prolong it. We extend it into an entire circumstance, an entire phase, stage of our life. Did you need to? Some of us need to, some of us don't. Do you need to? Have you asked yourself? Do I need to experience this for this long? Well, what about depression? Well, as someone who has suffered from clinical depression, diagnosed by a licensed psychologist as well as a licensed psychiatrist, um, I needed to experience that period because it was in that period I became hyper aware of the state of the world and it crushed my heart. And it took me quite a while to pick up all my pieces. Did I waste my time in that moment? No, because soul does not exist bound by Gregorian calendars or linear time. It doesn't. And there are times where my soul takes me back to places that are in my past, but reality is it's part of my present, and the sadness comes back. And do I need to be crushed once again? No, because I'm now fortified. How did I get fortified? Because of the scar tissue. When someone tries to shame you and call you a wounded person, that's them recognizing your fortification. Don't hold it against them for not having the ability to understand the gravity of the presence before them. Don't hold it against them that they don't have enough awareness to understand they are in the presence of a healer in the process of training. And don't bother standing in their presence any further. They're not worthy of the type of compassion, acceptance, and forgiveness that you are capable of gifting them for no other reason than because they exist. You don't have to hold it against them, but you definitely don't have to hold yourself there, hostage to their limited understanding of the greatness that you are and the further greatness that you're growing into. No, I will not be a prisoner to your distorted beliefs. So, card number 22, honor your mystical creative force. Sometimes your hands have to be emptied before you can receive an understanding, a knowing of how to harness your abilities. I'm not just talking about energy work, I'm talking about your ability to hear, truly hear the heart of another. As Pisceans and empaths, we have that ability. We can hear the things left unspoken. Stop telling yourself it's a lie. Stop telling yourself you're imagining it when you feel it so intensely. It's probably accurate. It's probably accurate when you feel someone hurting so badly at either what they said to you, how they hurt you, walking away from you. It's probably accurate. There's a high likelihood it's accurate, and just accept that as their soul apologizing and leave it at that. It doesn't mean it's an invitation to reinitiate contact or any of that. It's time for you to begin accepting your intuition. It is. And sometimes when we feel those things, that's your intuition communicating messages from their soul. And maybe what their soul is trying to tell you is that this individual, the human mind, has become so prominent and has affected their ability to spiritually rationalize the gravity of your presence in their journey. And we are sorry for hurting you. We are sorry. The self and the soul is sorry for not being worthy to be present. And thank you for walking away and helping us to learn this. Sometimes that's what the message is. Sometimes that's what we have to accept, that maybe that's what's coming back, this recognition, but not the person, not the individual. No physical contact, no message, no email, no text, no instant messenger, no, none of that. Just a recognition by the person and the soul and the feeling of it in your own heart that, yeah, it hurt, but walking away from you was the right thing to do. And it's hard because Mercury comes around and turns everything on its head, and now you're confused, and now it's like, oh, maybe this means we're getting back together. I don't know if it's my own personal trust issues, which I have huge trust issues. I have issues receiving. I have issues letting people back in. I no longer have shame. I don't see it as a disease of my mind and my heart. I see it more as my soul knows better. My soul knows better, and that's why I'm the way I am. So I don't know if it's because of that or what, but once you're out, you're out. You don't get another chance to try and destroy me. You don't get another chance to try and finish what you failed at doing the first time, which has hurt me to the point where I'm no longer functional. You don't get a second chance at that. Come at me with both guns blazing the first time, because you won't come back around. No. And the 1 year that I allowed myself to let chance play its creative role and dissolve my identity and the ways in which I function within my life, all my coping mechanisms, all my trust issues, all my different ways in which society and modern science has created pathology within me. It's not pathology. I'm not fucking diseased. I'm a functional soul. I let people back in. I reopened those fucking doors. Why is that? Because I convinced myself that I had pathology where none existed. I convinced myself I was being a bad person for honoring my needs, because they didn't get a chance yet to hurt me. They didn't get a chance yet to betray me. My soul said, close that door. And I did. And I felt bad because, like, why? Nothing happened. Close that door. Bolt it shut. I did. And I felt bad. I felt bad because I allowed societal conditioning to tell me that that's bad. Why is that bad? I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm not villainizing you to other people. I just closed the door and I left it shut. If you're going to learn anything from me, I let those motherfuckers back in. And that was the most horrendous 18 months of my life. For no reason other than because I opened that door. None. None. Whose fault is that? Nobody's. I had to learn firsthand. I had to learn firsthand why I function the way I do. And once I experience that, I'm no longer apologetic. When I walk away from you, it's for a reason. And even if I don't understand it, when my soul tells me this is off, walk away, I will. You can feel however way you want about me. That's perfectly fine. I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm saying I need something you can't give me. And that's probably truth and honesty. And so I must walk away from you. Doesn't mean I wish you harm. It doesn't mean that I'm bitter. It just means I'm learning to love myself in a more unconditional, loving way, that your preferences are no longer my priority, that my needs are being recognized as such. They are needs, they are not preferences. I need peace in my life. I need your absence for that peace to be maintained. That is my need, not a preference. This is not about me thinking I'm better than you. This is not about me being antisocial. This is about me being exclusive and elusive because I deserve peace. And if I feel on some level that my soul is communicating to me that the return of you will disrupt my peace, you can disrupt it away from me. You're going to do whatever you're going to do, anyways. See, the people that you walk away from who had malicious intent, but it was very well hidden, they're going to talk shit about you when you walk away. Newsflash. They were going to do that about you, anyways. They were going to talk shit about you after they fucking used you. After they used you for everything they could possibly use you for. They would then initiate a fucking argument, sometimes not even then, in order to justify talking shit about you. Because all that shit that those people did, there was no argument. I had bitches telling other bitches that I'm like money hungry, taking their bitch, I gave you all your fucking clients. That is the overflow of my business. There was no reason to say the things that they said, but guess what? They didn't need a reason. Really? I don't, I'm jealous of you and I don't support your success. You were just fucking live on my business page without me. Am I not? That's right. That's right. What I didn't get was that not everyone has my heart. Not everyone craves your success the way I do. Not everyone can genuinely celebrate you, your life, your accomplishments, the wonderful things the way I can. Because if I celebrate you, if I say, oh my God, I'm happy for you, I'm genuinely happy for you. When you come to me and you tell me what you've achieved, the beautiful things that have been accomplished because of your achievements, that's fucking amazing. It's amazing. I feel like I've achieved something just by being present and witnessing your rise. And not everyone shares that kind of heart. Most people can't celebrate you. Most people keep you close to get better tabs on you. And unfortunately, that's just how much of society functions. That's just how much of society functions. Is it me being pessimistic? No, it's me being honest. You can't tell me there is a single person in this audience with me right now, and those who will watch this recording who have never experienced any of this from anyone ever. Like, what is she talking about? Everything is awesome. Everything is awesome when you're part of a group. Everything is awesome. You're a fucking liar. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. So, a fierce, purba wielding blue dakini, conduit from the sky to the earth, be fierce and vanquish whatever is holding you back. Damn. Girl got her titties out. Oh, is that like, oh, she's about to stab you with a fucking spiritual dagger. That don't look like me. Don't be racist, Michael. That does not look like me. Fuck out of here. That's racist. That's speciesist. Be fierce. Have no apologies for your fierceness. There's this ferocity has nothing to do with attacking other people. It doesn't. That's just maliciousness. When you are fierce in vanquishing whatever is holding you back, oftentimes it has to do with your own mindset. Being fierce in your deconstruction of that mindset that keeps you held back. That's important. That's definitely important. Um, Next, we have God, preserver of the celestial realms. The life force within us is the same power that created the universe. If it's the same power that created the universe, you have to stop playing God and trying to confine that. That's the equivalent of trying to define what God is. You're undefinable, uncontainable, unstoppable. You are a limitless being. That is the truth of your existence. You are limitless. The only limits that exist are the ones that you believe in. That's literally the only limits that exist. The ones that you personally believe in. Whether you took that in or whether someone's trying to convince you of that, the moment you begin to believe that is the moment you begin to take that in as your truth. That's when it becomes your existence. I didn't know that I shouldn't be able to teach myself how to use a camera. I didn't know that. I didn't know that I needed a degree to take pictures that are well enough to be put in international publications. I didn't know that until my friend who initially he had me as his makeup artist because he's a professional photographer. Um, until he told me that I shouldn't be charging as a photographer. I mean, if you're going to make money in the publication off the work that I'm submitting, I think I should be paid. Um, I'm not charging a regular person. It's an actual magazine. I think you should pay me for that. If I'm working 8 hours, I think you should pay me for that. And then I did not know that you shouldn't be able to very easily become a chocolatier because chocolate is a very finicky thing. It's very hard to work with, notoriously hard to work with. If you don't know the ratios, if you're mixing it wrong, the platelets don't line up properly, you get a clump of mess, it's just a whole bunch of really fucked up shit, right? Oh, but it was so easy for me. And I didn't know that you needed an education to do that. I didn't know that I shouldn't have been able to have a big casino on the Vegas Strip recognize my product as an uneducated stay at home mom and take me in as their vendor. I didn't know that. And because I didn't know any of that, I wasn't stopped from accomplishing all of that. Ain't that some shit? Until you know you're not supposed to be able to do that, you have no problem being able to do that. I was going to start learning how to ride a motorcycle. I'm about to talk shit about my husband. You might want to log off real quick, honey. So, over the summer, he bought one of those little tiny motorcycles. And I was going to teach myself how to ride a motorcycle because I wanted to get a real big size motorcycle. And he told me for like 30 minutes, you're going to fall. You're going to fall. Oh my God, it's so dangerous. You're going to fall. And then so I was sitting on the little motorcycle. I was like, I don't want to do this. He goes, no, just go ahead and do it. Fuck you. You just fucking convinced me I'm going to fall. I'm not doing it now. Fuck that. I don't want to anymore. I don't want to ride get a little buggy to attach to the side of it. I'll sit in the buggy. When you let people in your head, I'm still mad at you for that. When you let people in your head, it fucks with you. It fucks with you. Because I'm pretty sure if I didn't allow him to get in my head like that, which he didn't really, I just got really pissed off. And at that point, I was like, fuck it, I don't even fucking do it anymore. That's what happened. I'm pretty sure I probably could have popped a wheelie on that little thing. It goes really fast. One of the 8 classes of demons. I believe you're part of that group. I'm not joking. Choose positive thoughts that will chase away the devil. Oh, shit. Ties into what we were just talking about. It ties into you allowing parasitic thought forms to create structures for which demons can live within. So here's the thing. If you don't allow the thought forms that then become the structures, because the thought forms are the very like ingredients or materials that they use to build a house to live in. Yeah. It's hard to get breached and have a parasitic circumstance continue when they have nowhere to be housed within you. Self denial, um, allowing your insecurities to be way more than what they actually are. Like, oh, I'm so afraid of you finding out that I have trust issues because my trust issues are part of my insecurities. No, I have trust issues. You're not going to be able to use my trust issues to enter my space and exist within me as a demon. That's not going to happen. You know, it's not going to happen. There's no house for you there. I own myself. I own my quirks. I have all these little quirks that make me uniquely me. These are quirks that I shouldn't be ashamed of. Sometimes they get annoying because they get in the way of me learning and growing with as little complication as possible. But even the complications, I've learned to have value. When I see that complication, it has value. You know why? Because it amplifies my ability to learn. It elevates the potentiality that I will reach in that small cycle of learning. I've begun to see it as each complication is like a 45-pound plate, and I am squatting 45-pound plates, and each complication is another plate added. And yeah, it makes it harder, but when you push, 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 um, the amount of spiritual hypertrophy that occurs is fucking A1 Yola. It's amazing. You can grow so profoundly in one little circumstance when you allow the complications to be the plates that add the resistance that adds to your growth. So I can look back at my life and think about how, damn girl, why you always choose the hardest option possible with the most amount of complications and pain? Why can't you ever do this the easy way? Because first off, motherfuckers, first off, I was not aware there were options. Second off, my spiritual booty is popping because of all the squats with the extra weights. So, I'm no longer ashamed. I do shit the hard way. It's perfectly fine. It grows me in the way I need to be grown. How about that? How about that? How about you stop listening to people giving unsolicited spiritual workout advice when all they do is watch fucking spiritual workout videos on YouTube? They can't even lift shit. Please, you're not going to tell me what to do. Look at it that way. Oh, just because you know the words? Because now you've watched a video and you can talk about macros in your diet. And do you apply that information? No, no, you don't know how to do that type of diet. Okay, then why are you telling me what to do? I wouldn't go and pay a personal trainer who is out of shape to teach me how to get in shape. If you can't do it for yourself, I'm not going to believe you can do it for me. If you can't do it for yourself, I have an obligation to myself to not believe that you can do it for me. I won't even offer services to you that I won't do for myself. You have a shit ton of people who caught wind of this whole parasitic circumstance, parasitic extraction that I introduced years ago, and now they're an extractor. Okay, well, that's good. But what about the demons inside you? Have you extracted those yet? Oh, you didn't know? Oh, but this whole time you've been saying you do what I do. Oh, no, I definitely don't do what you do. Oh, okay. It's good that you recognize that because I didn't believe you when you said that. I didn't believe you. I didn't, because I literally had someone constantly going on live streams and saying that. Oh, I do what she does. I do what she does. Okay, they want a free session. I was like, I thought you said you do extractions. You're fucking infested, bruh. Oh, I didn't know. I can't actually see. Then how do you do what I do? That's some crazy shit. You're putting your trust in someone who is selling you something they can't actually do. How about this? How about you put your trust in yourself and do it for yourself? How about you put your trust in your ability to neutralize all the ugly in your life? And you can start that by picking and choosing what you allow back. And this isn't about picking and choosing to allow back things that are easy. This is about picking and choosing what you allow back in because it's going to grow you. Because whatever that was, it's not yet finished. There's another component to that learning. So let me just go ahead and learn it. Let me just go ahead and really be present this time. Before, when they were there, I wasn't really present. There was some stuff that I was going through. It's such a difficult period of my life. I was so afraid of where my soul was telling me I was headed. And there was no way that I was going to learn what I needed to learn the last time you were here. And if you did come back, um, that would be something. Now I'm ready. Now I'm no longer afraid to see what you were able to see back when I didn't want to see. And so maybe now it's time for me to recognize that that's why you're coming back. Wait, what the fuck did I just say? What are you talking about? I gotta go, guys. I gotta start sessions. I'm not too sure what I was saying. I was just repeating what Michael was saying. What the fuck was he saying? I suddenly got super nervous. My ears are now super itchy. I gotta go. I gotta go. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. Did it make sense? I don't know. For some reason, that makes me nervous. I'm not too sure what I was talking about. I love you guys. I'll be back again very soon. Bye.